Hello and welcome. It's Dr. Chris, your friendly neighborhood doctor of acupuncture. And I'm all about focusing on what is natural when it comes to health and how we take care of ourselves, how I focus on my patient base here at the clinic, acupuncture and herbal medicine here in Coventry, Rhode Island. And I got into an interesting conversation today actually with a patient. These things inspire me to want to put this out there to share with others. And it has to do with coming up with a therapeutic model for exercise. Okay, when we think of exercise, we have routines. You go a few times a week, maybe you do something daily. But the way I want to suggest to you to look at exercise is look at it in a therapeutic way. You may have health issues, and exercise can be a therapy as opposed to something general that you do all the time to keep your body in good shape. You can think of exercise as a therapy to help turn your condition around. Maybe you're dealing with aches and pains, bad shoulder, bad knee, a hip problem, back problem, neck problem, and you can look at exercise to help with that. And so here's how I would suggest. First of all, we got to think about, we start with a working definition of good health so that we can pick a good therapy, okay? When you have awareness, then you can pick good practices in prevention, awareness and prevention. So good health can be defined as how things flow in the body, how well is the circulation and the flow within the body, how well your blood flows, how well you're breathing, that's a flow, right? How well are you thinking and feeling? That's a flow as well. Okay, you get stuck in a pattern emotionally, and that makes you feel stuck and tense, and that blocks the flow of function within the body, of circulation. So good health is about good flow. Now, when it comes to exercise, therapeutically, we'll want to promote good flow. All right, you may think of, like, say, a cardio exercise, helping to strengthen the heart and circulate the blood through the body. I'm not really focused on a specific exercise. I just want to talk about a pattern, a model. And that model is going to be understandings of types of exercise to choose when it comes to strengthening, stretching, loosening, something different there, and a category I would call like massage or relaxation. Okay, so stay with me on this. Say, for example, you're feeling good and you're doing all your exercises, which can include all those four categories. Okay, you warm up, you stretch, you strengthen, etc. Say you end up hurting your knee. Okay, you can't jog anymore. You can't do your strengthening type exercises because it hurts. Okay, and that's a problem, right? You don't want to run on an injured part of your body. You don't want to injure that more and risk more damage. And plus, I want you to understand, whenever you're exercising and you experience pain in the exercise, you have to know that's going to produce more inflammation into that tissue, more swelling. That swelling is going to block flow of blood and energy as well, that swelling. So we want to avoid swelling and unnecessary production of inflammation, okay? So say you hurt your knee and you can't strengthen anymore. What can you do? You still want to exercise, you still want to therapeutically address your condition. Well, I would suggest to go to stretching. Okay, so you can't do strengthening, do stretching, which you should be doing either way. When you exercise, a good pattern is to stretch first, then strengthen, for example. Okay, but go to stretching and try to stretch and until you stop feeling better, where you can do strengthening and you don't have pain. Now, if you go to stretching and you still have pain, you're stretching and it still hurts, You can't strengthen, you can't stretch. You're going to create more inflammation and block flow. So what can you do? You do loosening exercises. What's a loosening exercise? Okay, it's not a strengthening, it's not a stretching. Okay, if I use my fist and maybe I tighten my arm, for example, and I'm making my bicep tight, that's an idea of strengthening. A muscle tightens. If I try to stretch out my arm, okay, stretch the muscle, that's a simple idea of stretching. Strengthening, stretching. You can't do either of those. We're just going to do loosening. What's loosening? Loosening is take a joint. It's always about a joint. And you make a circle. That's it. That's loosening. Okay? If this is strengthening and this is stretching, I'm just doing a simple movement of loosening the joint. And there are a whole set of these types of exercises. This is stuff that I learned when I studied Tai Chi and Qigong. And you go through the whole body. Every joint in the body, you loosen. Okay? The shoulders, the back, the neck, the hips, the knees, the ankles. You go through every joint. You make a circular pattern clockwise and then counterclockwise. Okay? So again, if you can't strengthen because it hurts, you can't stretch because it hurts, you try loosening, which doesn't require lifting heavy things like strengthening might, and it doesn't require putting a big strain on the joint like stretching might. It's just a simple loosening to keep the joint loose for good blood flow. Okay? Every joint is like a break in the flow of your tissue. You have a bone, you have muscles, nice flow, how they're formed, and then right here to bend this section, it all terminates and starts again on the other side, so there is a break in the tissue turning into tendons, ligaments, and a joint, and that joint's purpose is to move, not stay still. If you stay still for too long, everything gets stiff, right? So movement is important. Movement is about life. Okay, move it or lose it. So, loosening exercises. The thing to understand about loosening that's very important and helpful is that you get your mind into the movement to make a nice circle. Okay, sometimes when you first start off doing something, you try to do a nice smooth movement and you feel a little clumsy, a little uncoordinated. That's because the mind is not connecting to the muscles to make that movement well. It's not connected well. But over time and practice, like a ballerina or a gymnast or somebody that's doing very fine movements, even a martial artist, for example, over time you start to develop a smoothness and a rhythm and more precision to your movements. That's the mind connecting better to the body, better coordination. So loosening exercises can improve coordination and mind-body connection. It also gives you a sense of awareness. So if you make a nice circle with a joint, and in that circle somewhere, some degree of the circle, there's tightness or maybe even pain. You make the circle smaller, try to avoid pain, okay, but it's bringing awareness to that part of the body. There's something there that's not quite smooth or flowing well, or maybe some inflammation in that area. And it brings awareness, and then you work on trying to smooth out the circle and widen the circle. So loosening can be a whole set of exercise in itself to learn. Okay, now say you do loosening exercises and you still have pain, even if you make the circle smaller. What can you do? Massage or a passive type massage or relaxation. Say you hurt your elbow, you can't tighten, you can't stretch, you can't even loosen, it hurts. You just rest it. You have to rest it and not move it. But here's the thing about resting. Sometimes we get stuck. Things get stiff. We need movement. We need flow. We need to promote blood flow into that area. Well, you don't move it, but you can use your other hand, for example, to massage and promote circulation. That's what I would call a passive massage. You're not using the same part of the body that's damaged to, like with exercise, you have to use that part of the body, but doing it in a passive way, you're promoting circulation, say, with the other hand. So that's like a passive massage. And say you can't even do that, it hurts, okay? Well, you just rest it, and maybe you apply ice or you apply heat, and that's it. And once it starts feeling better, you go through the stages. You try loosening. If that feels good and there's no pain, then you try stretching. If that feels good, there's no pain, then you get into strengthening again in all your routines. Okay? So that is what I would call a therapeutic way of approaching an exercise routine for yourself. And you know, the word routine, something we do the same every day. What I'm describing is not a routine. It's based on what you need on any given day. So there may be some days where you need more strengthening or more stretching. You know, maybe it's colder in the winter and you got to warm up your body more, so you got to do more stretching. Or maybe apply heat and relax a bit and let the body warm up and then do some stretching and then get into it. I would suggest from a therapeutic point of view, you have to design a set of exercises for yourself. You know, some people, they have an injury, they go to an acupuncturist or they go to a physical therapist or a chiropractor, and exercises are recommended. Or some therapy, some self-care therapy. That may be a part of your routine for the rest of your life. You'll always have trouble in the back and you always need to do a certain stretch, and it's helpful. Okay, and that's how I would advise you to develop a set of exercises that are personal for you. And some people are tied to the gym and they have to go to a gym. I personally like to be able to do my exercises anywhere I'm at. You know, if I'm at home or I'm at work or wherever, I've got routines. I could be in the car driving down the road and I got a breathing technique that I know about that's nice for relaxation. And I could be doing it while I'm driving. See, I like to have things that are practical I can take with me. Okay, so that's how I look at exercise for myself. If I got a back problem and it's doing good, I don't really need to do so much work on the back. There may be other areas that I need to work on more. Okay, but then the back problem flares up and I've got to get back into my routines again. Maybe I can't do strengthening. I have to focus on stretching or loosening or a relaxation or a massage type technique. Okay, you know, there's like a chair insert that you can buy where you sit in it and it rolls along the back muscles, and that feels really good, and I don't have to do anything. I can just sit there, and that's a great part of this therapeutic method that I'm talking about for exercise. You look for these types of techniques. Okay, I hope you got something out of this video in regards to your own self-care when it comes to, you know, a natural approach to medicine. If you need some help, you can always reach out to me, leave comments below, or get in touch through the clinic. And our website is natureshealing.info. You can go there, and there's a lot of good articles there that I share. You can also check out my YouTube page, Acupuncture and Herbal Medicine, and there's videos there. And you can just get in touch with the clinic if you need some therapies that we do here that can be helpful for your specific health concerns. I hope you have a great day. I hope you got some info out of this that's useful. And I just want to say goodbye and hopefully catch you next time. Stay tuned. I'm going to be making some more videos. Until then, keep on the sunny side.